create athleisure apparel to push that message. So you'll see certain pieces with be kind to yourself on there, just to remind yourself that, you have to be kind to yourself in the process, and self-talk is important. So always speaking positive things to yourself, or it's just so many different ways to be kind to yourself, right? But that's just one example. Or you might see a t-shirt, our Pride t-shirt, which is like one of our most popular shirts. And it's just, got the Pan-African colors, just representing that and what Marcus Garvey started back in the day, So it's just different, you might see a different slogan or just different imagery, just empowering and enlightening and even questioning. Like, you might wear a t-shirt and somebody be like, man, I like that. What does that mean? So it's a conversation starter. It's just a lot of different things. And we also do programs and different, so like pop-ups or just different events. Or, we have a conversation series called Are You Aware Convos, where we just have, different thought leaders or different people who are thinking in a new thought way, and they have their own spiritual journey, and and we want them to share that. So it's kind of similar to you guys' platform. It's just talking about growing and being aware of self and all of that. So that's kind of the lane and the medium and where we express that.
Yeah, that was an extremely quotable moment by my brother Drew. But it's so funny. Like, we just started out with making hats, right? The hat set, very simple. It said Aware. We were selling it like just hand-to-hand transactions, like out of the trunk, like we like to say. And people, they were intrigued by the word, because I think the word aware has so many different connotations, so many different depths to it, right? Like we were dancing with the idea of consciousness, but consciousness has its own kind of negative connotations in some ways. It kind of has a box to it, right? Aware is just like, you could be aware, like you said, you could be aware of yourself, you could be aware of your surroundings, aware of your culture, aware of your lineage. There's so many different things to be aware of. And you wearing it, shows that you're aware, but then when other people see it, they're either going to ask the question, like Drew said, like, what are you aware of? What does aware mean to you? And it could start an amazing conversation that way. So it works on so many different levels, you know what I mean? So we're just so happy to see it growing, the way that it is. It reinforced the idea that we were onto something, those few years ago.
That's a really interesting thing that you just said right there. I have a couple of military buddies that have done different like Spartan races and things of that capacity, where it's like, one Spartan race might be like 5K, 10K, or 15K or whatever, but there's like a kind of like triathlon, I don't know the right words, whatever. There's like a certain thing where like they do like a power weekend where it's all 3 races, and they do it in an effort to raise money for military research that is actually using these different substances of like shrooms or MDMA and things of that capacity to help with PTSD. And one of my close buddies just finished doing one of those last year and helped raise enough money with it so that they could green light one of those programs. So I'm curious to like know your understanding about these different like substances and how we're clinically using them today, and what made you guys kind of say like, we want to raise awareness about that as well and kind of promote that underneath our brand.
Yeah, that's great. So there's so many different modalities or approaches, to healing, right? So we wanted to, as the Aware brand, we wanted to definitely highlight a few of those different approaches. So when it comes to, the psychoactive drugs, they help you to, well, the different ones work differently, right? But the main thing is to kind of help you understand the content of your mind. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of puts what you're thinking and what you're feeling on display, and on display in a truthful way that you can't deny, right? I think a lot of times we deny, what we're feeling. We push it down, we put it under the rug, and over time that accumulates, right? And that manifests as physical or mental disease, right? So when you take these psychoactive substances, right? Because like when we say drugs, like it's kind of polarizing, right? Like people kind of feel away, like, oh yeah, I don't do drugs are wrong. But if we like psychoactive substance, right? So whether it be smoking weed, whether it be taking a shroom, whether it be using something like Iboga, which is in the West Africa, these different things they work different, and they work different with each and every one of us. So
what's Iboga?
Yeah, Iboga is they use a derivative, I believe, in America called Ibogaine that's used for like substance abuse mainly. It's slightly different than shrooms and like ayahuasca, and that it's they call it it's more stern. They call it like the stern father. It's like it puts your truth up in a way that it's like kind of harsh that you can't really deny.
Okay.
As opposed to like those other substances, it's like kind of like dreamy, like a dream state kind of thing. But yeah, it just basically makes you see the truth of yourself, right, in a way that helps you to deal with it, so you can heal. So we were just so interested in like the healing aspects of these plant substances.
So let me ask you guys this, and like your process of saying, okay, we also have seen a hole in our community, and we recognize that we want to put out something to our community that's going to provide this kind of elevation or this affirmation of wellness. How are you guys personally, individually, collectively checking your own wellness with being these new designers, you know, taking on this whole new kind of business platform? Like, how did you guys approach this? What did you do before you were clothing designers? And like, how is this like now integrated into your lives? What's been that journey?
So in my 40-hour week job is I actually work in mental health. I've been working in mental health for about 9 years. So, and then I've always been an artist, always been a creative. So like the Aware brand allows me to, you know, get my rocks off, you know, that way. Cause like usually I'm more so in my left brain, you know what I mean? Helping people to navigate their own like internal storms and things like that. So Aware brand allows me to, you know, get into my creative bag, which is a form of self-help and self-care, you know, in and of itself. But like wellness wise, you know, like I make sure I stretch in the morning, make sure I meditate. You know, like I meditate. Now that the weather's getting nice, I just open up my screen door and I hear the birds chirping and stuff and just meditate like that. You know, I'm a big journaler. You know, I've been journaling for years, you know, like whatever I'm feeling. Yeah, and, you know, tapping in with my brother, Drew, you know, he always, you know, somehow, I mean, we've known each other for a long time, so he always kind of knows, like, when I need a good word, you know, and I think vice versa as well. Like, you have to have people that you trust. You know, you trust their opinion. You know what I mean? You trust their perspective to help you through, you know, when you're going through the ups and downs of being like a business owner, entrepreneur.
I love that.
That's so true.
Go ahead.
Very important. What do you do, Drew? What is your way of keeping up with your wellness with all of the this new addition, adding Aware brand to your daily life? How are you continuously healing thyself and keeping up with your wellness?
Man, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, because we do pour out a lot of energy into, you know, putting the message out to others, but who's pouring back into us, or how do we pour back into us? And I think for me, like, I try to keep, I mean, mind, body, and soul, right? That's the Holy Trinity with me, right? That's how I feel like if I'm, like, doing something under those three umbrellas. So for the mind, I'm either reading some type of literature or watching some YouTube video, whatever the case may be, that's going to keep, you know, the mind going, to keep the wheels turning up top, right? And then for the body, I'm working out. You know, I'm in the gym at least 4 to 5 days out the week. You know what I mean? That's my stress reliever. That's for me to, you know, let out that anger a little bit, or just, I wouldn't even say anger, but frustration, or just the blockages that I may have. You know what I mean? My body, get the blood flowing. Movement is so important. As a creative and as an entrepreneur, you got to move the body. So, I mean, that's one of the things I do. And then for spiritual, or soul, you know, meditation, like Richard said, journaling. Richard was actually one of the first people to put me on to journaling back when I was like 25. So, like, I've been consistently doing that and just getting the feelings out and getting the thoughts out that way. So, I mean, yeah, so I try to keep all three of those things in line, you know, mind, body, and soul. And I just recently joined the Tai Chi class. So
look at you.
Yeah, so I'm learning how to move my energy, and you know, just like I said, movement is so important. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing to keep my mind straight, you know, and healing myself and getting to those roots, because we all evolving every day. So
for sure. Now let's get back into the Aware brand. I want to ask you guys just a few more questions, whereas we're coming up on about 20 more minutes left. But I do want to ask you, where do you guys see the Aware brand in the next 5 years, and what can we look forward to see coming out of your brand? You know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we have a relationship with Foot Locker right now. We have a partnership with them, so we definitely see.
Congratulations on that, by the way. I remember seeing that. I wanted to touch on that. Yeah, that's amazing. I know that you guys are selling your clothing in Foot Locker in Detroit. Can you tell them which Foot Locker in Detroit they can find?
So, we're actually in 2 locations. Well, it's not. I mean, we're in 1 location in Detroit. It's in East Point. So you guys is off of East 8 Mile. So if you guys in the Detroit area, definitely go to the east side of Detroit. Go console here at the community store at Foot Locker. But we're also in Washington Heights right now too. On 181st and Broadway. Uptown, so up in New York. Yeah, in New York City. Yeah,
that's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing, guys.
Yep. And then we also we just expanded, so we're going to be in 6 more Foot Lockers in New York City to come top of July. So definitely look out for that, and then we'll post the locations. So the goal is really in the next couple of years, really just to grow with them as well. It's just like being pretty much every market. They got 3,500 stores across the world. So we could be in all of them, that's the goal,
That's the goal.
But just building that relationship with them, keep putting out, amazing pieces directly for our consumers, creating more opportunities and platforms to educate, enlighten, and empower, those are our pillars, of the brand. We want, we still want to be community based. Definitely some actually standalone stores, like our own brick and mortars. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely can see that.
I also want to mention again why we do this room, why we created the Wellness Wednesdays. It started out of the pandemic and just being able to have the opportunity to connect with other like-minded creatives and recognize that we needed to continue to push forward and continue to keep going, continue to keep creating. But in that process of doing that in such a traumatic season, we decided, Ely came to her, that we should create an amazing box, like something that we can gift to creatives to continue to help them push forward. And with that was born the Creative Wellness Box. And from that, we wanted to start a conversation about that box. And so that's where this chat room came from. I want to give a second to let Ely talk about the Creative Box and what's in it for this season, the Spring Sublime. If you want to take that away, Ely, let them know where they can find the box and how they can get their hands on it.
For sure, yeah. So I feel like you threw that a little reverse, so I'm going to bring that back, but it's called the Sublime Spring Box. And this is a collection of a lot of different artists that I personally have worked with or know or admire, that are in the industry, that have their own side hustles and really great products coming out of it. So for example, within this new collection, there's different things, including a glow oil, which is great for men and women's skin. It's just kind of to help you with your moisture, and it leaves a nice finish on top of your skin, making you look refreshed and dewy. There's also practical tools in there to help you get those freelance jobs done. So there's a pocket monkey in there, which is a multi-tool that can be a flat lay in your wallet. There's different pieces of meditative guided rituals in there. There's fine art in the box by yours truly. And then there's always some level of decadent treat in there. So this season's collection has a cacao rose herbal tea by a woman in town named Brandy, and she has the Just Add Honey brand. It's right off of the Beltline. You guys might have seen it. Amazing tea shop, amazing woman. So it was a way for me to be able to bring together all of these dope artists that I've met and I respect, and say, hey, let's give out care packages to the other individuals in town. You know what I mean? One of the things that I personally missed in 2020 was the farmers markets, the artist markets that are starting to pop up again now. And so this is an opportunity for those creatives to still get their work to your doorstep and to give you some slice of self-care. So check it out. It's on my website, elyphoto.com/store. You can find that in the different collections. There's the Wellness Winter collection, and there's the Sublime Spring. Once they're gone, they're gone. And I'm getting ready to ramp up for the summer collection. So maybe there's something where Richard and Drew can put something in the box. We'll see. But definitely check that out. The link is in my Clubhouse bio. So definitely support the community and support yourself.